Elsenborn down there. And incidentally, the Elsenborn town was, at that time, they had a USO down there. And there were American girls that were running, USO girls. And we would go down, they'd give us coffee and donuts. They were feeding all the troops as they came through the area. And it was nice to talk to American girls for a change. We hadn't really met too much of the civilian population in Belgium. But they were very friendly and very supportive of us, of course. We got attacked one night by a German outfit. A battalion struck us, and we had a firefight. It got ugly. We probably took out about 40 of them as they attacked our positions. But they didn't get us. And that was in a blinding snowstorm. That's one of the reasons they attacked us, probably, thinking they could break through. Further south of us, the Bulge was still going on, and there was still some pretty heavy combat down there. About a couple of nights later, they hit us again. They figured, I think, we were field artillery, we weren't infantry. Well, we were infantrymen. And I was using my BAR. Now, we opened up. It's hard to say that we hit, I know I hit 2 or 3 guys. They came through in white uniforms. And when we went out after the battle and looked at them, a couple of them were wounded, and we took them back and treated their wounded. And they treated ours too, we found out later. And they were just 16, 17-year-old kids. And I remember one German boy told us, he spoke a little English, he said he was glad to be out of it. The war was over. They'd lost the war anyway. They already knew that. So we had a couple of those little engagements like that. We were there about maybe 3 weeks and got orders to move up, and a guy named Darrell and I stayed on to guard the ammunition. We couldn't load all those shells into trucks while they pulled the guns north. We didn't know where they were going. But all night long, while Darrell and I were there guarding this stuff, trucks and tanks were moving north along the road through Elsenborn. We knew something was up. And the, shall we say, the scuttlebutt, which is the Army word for information, was a big offensive was coming north. And sure enough, in February, we broke through up on the Cologne Plain north of Aachen and headed out across the plain. And our division got in there, and we kind of followed through the 99th. And we got into west of the Rhine, and we broke up at a town called Euskirchen and were transferred to 3rd Army, General Patton's Army. We had been in 1st Army, General Hodge's Army, until that time. Well, the breakthrough was to get across the Rhine. Well, nobody knew how they were going to get across the Rhine. The big river, very dangerous. All the bridges were blown, but one bridge at Remagen, which probably most of you have heard about, was still standing. And the 9th Infantry Division took that bridge at night, got across it, under fire. And we were the 3rd Division over. A couple of days later, we came across. Well, the old bridge was still standing, but in weakened condition, so they had to stop using it. So they put up pontoon bridges all across the river. And we went across on a pontoon bridge. And when we got down to the bridge, I could see, unfortunately, the bodies of several Army engineers who had been killed putting those bridges up. And they just, when the bridge was, the Germans were firing on us on both sides of the river, up and down the river. And they'd hit a bridge and knock it out. Those guys would go out there and put that thing up again, even under fire. We got to the bridge to go across. Sergeant came up, you guys got 30 seconds to get across this bridge. If you don't make it in 30 seconds, you better learn how to swim, because a tank's going to come across and knock that truck of yours in the river. General Patton's orders, keep moving, you know. So, and that sounded like Patton. And so we went across. We got across in 30 seconds, that's for sure. And got on the other side, got up on the high ridge over there, and German Luftwaffe planes, the few German planes they had left, were coming down at night trying to bomb that bridge and the machine gun our pontoon positions. And we put up 50 caliber machine guns up to fire at them as they came across. And we had these big 50s up there. I was up there for 2 hours. Nothing came in. But finally, during the morning, a couple of Messerschmitts came in and were diving down on the bridge. They didn't shoot at us. They were shooting at the bridge. And we opened fire on them. Well, one of the guys let the gun get away from him. And that big 50 caliber spun around and was shooting in our direction. Oh, man. It hit the kitchen truck and blew it up. We suffered no casualties, and I'll never know how that ever happened, because the bullets, those big slugs, were firing all over the place. Anyway, we